Matter has a lot of meaning than just stuff around us or things around us even. Matter come in different sizes and shapes. Water is a liquid, but there are more than just being an ordinary liquid. Water can freeze at a temperature of 0 degrees Celsius. Water in its own solid form is ice. As you may know about water, it can also be other three types of forms of matter. Water can be frozen and a gas too, not just being a solid. This is its liquid. This is water as a liquid form. I can't actually show you a frozen, but I can show you vapor. The solid form of water would be ice, which is pretty common to be known. If you take food like this and then you put it onto your stove, you can cook it like this. You can hear a sizzling sound, but it doesn't actually show you the gas or vapor, but those bringing up vapor from the stove when it's cooking, bringing into the machine up here, and that's devouring it, like, so it doesn't damage the roof. Water doesn't have very much viscosity, and then also because water is a liquid and liquids kind of just slide each other. It's like slide between each other, and then they don't really have much connection between each other, but they do have a force attraction, but not that big of a force attraction as the solid, because the solid's force attraction is very small and it's vibrating and moves in place, and then that's what keeps the shape of a solid. So a solid has a definite shape and a definite volume. A liquid, on the other hand, has a no definite shape but definite volume, because water can take up a space in a cup if you were to pour it in, and it would still keep, like, it would take the shape of the cup. Now this water, it takes the shape of the cup, and then that's what makes it has no definite shape, because it would take the shape of anything. So water doesn't really have shape, so the attraction between each other does not very much, so it can slide around. It's flexible. But the gas, on the other hand, has no definite shape and no definite volume, because of gas doesn't have much very force attraction, because it can just move all around the place. It's like saying bye bye to, like, you're going to border school and you're just saying bye, technically, and like you don't see each other for very long, and it's gone. It just breaks up. So then gas and like smoke, it can just go everywhere, like anywhere it wants to. And then another one, viscosity, it can be described versus water and honey. Honey has a lot of viscosity because the way you pour it, honey does not come as much as easily as water. Water, if you were to pour it into like a cup or something, it would pour out pretty easily. Honey, on the other hand, will take a while for it to be able to pour out. Anyways, surface tension is an object's resistance to flow. Also, therefore, water has low viscosity too, but though, like, honey, on the other hand, has a very high viscosity, we would say, because it does not pour out as fast. That would be like experimental probability. Condensation is the physical change of matter. Condensation is when droplets of water collect in a cloud, and then when it gets too heavy, it starts to rain. But the salt inside the cloud from the water, because most of the rainwater we get comes from oceans, but sometimes from lakes, but though mostly from oceans, and then carries to the Midwest. But though the main point is the salt stays inside the clouds, but then the water comes down. That's not part of the presentation, but my point is only the rainwater comes down. And then when the rainwater comes down, it's called condensation or participation. Whatever. You get my point. It's what people would call it instead of condensation as much, because condensation is usually taught in class and like it's part of the water cycle. Sublimation is what is called the transformation from a solid to a gas, skipping the liquid stage permanently. This happens in dry ice. It skips the liquid stage and heads towards the gas stage immediately. Once it does that, it creates steam / gas like smoke. And so like the smoke goes into the air. Deposition is the reverse of this. It happens when you're at the gas stage and then you head towards the solid stage, while skipping the liquid stage or two. It's just a reverse way of sublimation. An example of this is deposition happens on rivers, and erosion and deposition have common factors, but deposition happens on rivers. When it loses energy, freezing point is 0 degrees Celsius. This happens when an object loses thermal energy, then freezes up and turns into a frozen solid like ice. Boiling happens when the temp of something is 100 degrees Celsius. Boiling is also known as when water is bubbling once it is heated up. Temperature is the measure in Celsius in the U.S., but it isn't. But is what is most commonly used. Temperature can be measured by simply using a thermometer or other similar measuring device. All you would have to do is go outside and then just put the thermometer in there and it would grab the temperature immediately. Melting point is also when an object or like ice hits 0 degrees Celsius. Melting could happen with ice, but is most common with an ice, but maybe some ice cream too, but not more. Matter can be found in anything, not the only thing it isn't found in is energy. The properties of volume and shape is volume can be like very different shape. For solid would be very packed in together like a family. For liquid it'd be like they're not as close, but they're they're sliding with each other. Okay, gas, I will hate to use this word, but they like hate each other. They're just like, I ain't sitting with you, and like there's a way. Particle motion, there's for solid would be vibrating. Now like the staircase well over here, it doesn't move because it has a definite shape and volume. For liquid, it can move around. It has no definite shape, but has a definite volume because it takes up the space of something, and volume is the definition of that. A gas is like it can move everywhere it wants. It just goes bye-bye, technically. That's the end of this video.